York City and then through New Jersey. And I'm thinking, how just marvelous to take in all of the sights, the sounds, and kind of overwhelmed my senses to look and see and observe. And so just time to marvel and to be wowed by that. In our mission itself, we have to take time to marvel. And so part of the process today was I hit New York City and Jersey. And I stopped at Carlos Bakery, right? So like Cake Boss. And so taking time to marvel, not only called to be content where we're at, but to be wowed and be in awe. I think we lose that innocence as we get older sometimes. And today was a day just to marvel. And thinking about that even in again, our community, our tribe, our family, and then personally, am I taking time to marvel at God's creation?
A little trout? An eel?
Dude just caught an eel. An eel. I forget that this is like Delaware River. Flows out to the Atlantic Ocean. And so this eel, the eels come up here and they spawn. And so I thought it was the underbelly of a trout or something. Here he pulls this eel out of the river. Some of you think that's pretty gross. It's an eel! Cycling along the shore of the Delaware River, my heading was this place. You can maybe see a flag across the way. This is where George Washington crossed the Delaware River. Came to this place by cover of night. It was over the Christmas holiday. His goal was to reach Trenton, which is just south of here. So this is where he crossed it. This is such a marvelous, iconic sight. And thinking about the missional shift in our own life, in those moments of just marvel, of pure, like, childlike innocence when we see something that's a little bigger than life. And I imagine, you've seen the picture of Washington crossing the Delaware, kneed up on this boat under the cover of night and fog.
That is somewhat iconic, right? Washington crossing. This is it, the real deal, the Delaware crossing. So Washington himself is where he crossed. So yeah,
thinking through like what kind of a moment in time, and a lot of times we don't even realize those moments. Did Washington really realize the moment that would be forever captured by a portrait, a picture? And so this is just one of those epic moments. And I'm thinking about those times in my own life and my community's life that are hinge points, that they're just marvelous moments. They're kind of mile markers or points in the sand. And the question is, do we look back at those as a thank you God, or do we look at back at those as in, look what I accomplished? Think about the stealth that he had to come. Thinking about to navigate those areas of our lives where we're going to have to be intentional. Maybe it's overcoming something. Maybe it's a trajectory that you just have to do these jobs that you don't care about in order to get to the job you do care about. Maybe it's trying to balance your own family and those type of things. But there's something marvelous. There's just something marvelous about life itself and those mile markers. That we all have these remember when moments. For most of us, they aren't captured in a portrait like Washington crossing the Delaware. However, there are some mile markers in our life. And the missional shift is to look back at those mile markers and be like, just take a moment of gratitude. oh, if I hadn't have done this and this and this and this, it wouldn't have got me to this. If Washington hadn't crossed the Delaware and fought heartily to the south in Trenton, would we be where we are today? In the same way as we ask it in our community, our tribe, our family, and in my own life, what are those mile markers that I look back to and take just a moment of gratitude? Not that we get stuck in those moments either. That's part of the challenge, is how do we move on, but then also be grateful and thankful for those moments. It's such a tender place, kind of on edge. It's a missional moment. What does your crossing the Delaware look like? What does your missional shift look like? And have you taken time to marvel?
So this is how we do it on the road. Okay? Like my little chart.